Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. Listen, for those who doesn't know who I am, welcome to the channel. I am a League of Legends player. I have hit a diamond in pretty much every role in the game. Yes, it's not like Tyler 1 who hit challenger in every lane. I'm sorry, but still I have great knowledge about pretty much a little bit of every lane. I've hit masters in mid lane. I've actually had challenger in mid lane, but that was, you know, when I was young and pretty good at the game. Now I'm a little bit washed up, but still kind of decent, I would say. But this guide, or as you can read, Ultimate Beginner's Guide, is mostly for new players, but it also is beneficial for players that are either struggling to climb or wants to kind of practice a new role or get into a new role. We're gonna talk about every role and just talk about cons and pros of each role, as well as I'll give you 3 champions I feel like if you grind or play, you will have a pretty good shot at climbing the game instead of just playing a champion that might not suit your style, and then we will just be stuck at a elo that isn't like, you know, that you're happy with. So again, if you are new or gold and below, I would say stick around, just watch the video. I will be having timestamps, so if you want to skip to a part or just check the lanes out, sure. We will also talk about the micro and the macro of this game and how to improve them a little bit. So if that's something you want to, again, jump forward to, please do that, but I would definitely try to stick around to the end of the video and just kind of soak in as much information as possible. So yeah, let's just go through and talk about the first kind of segment I want to talk to you to. So what even is a League of Legends? Well, League of Legends is, as you can see, I would say kind of a 5-dimensional chess. So that sounds weird, I know, but if you think about it, you're facing an opponent and all League of Legends is based on is just outsmarting or outplaying the enemy, the enemy pretty much. So as you can see on the map here, this is literally a virtual representation of how League of Legends is. So we have a map which is kind of split into 3 lanes. We have a top lane, we have a mid lane, a bot lane, and a jungle. So people are gonna ask, well, wasn't there 5 players in League of Legends? Yes, there is 5, but in bot lane we actually have 2 players. One is the attack damage carry, AD carry, or ADC as people call them in League of Legends, and the support. So that's the only exception. Those 2 go bot, the rest is pretty much solo. So what is a jungle? Well, jungle, as you can see on the map here, we do have kind of, how can I say, kind of a, well, this is jungle spawns. Every kind of like bits of parts have a kind of monster jungles clear for XP. So these guys don't go to lane and take like minions as the top lane, mid lane, and bot lane will, since in each lane there will be a minion spawn. So there will be minions coming through here, minions coming through here, and minions coming through here. So these guys take these for XP and gold, while the jungle clears his jungle. There will be camps here, camps here, camps here, and these 2 areas here. Exact same spot for the red team. And you might be wondering, why is there a red and a blue? Well, the red and blue is literally how the games are going to start. Each game, you're either going to be blue side, which is the blue, as you can see, the blue lines, or you're going to be red side, which are the red lines. It's kind of the same. Again, there's no difference. There's still going to be the exact same camps, exact same minions and XP, whatever. But the only difference will be these little big areas here, as you can see in the like middle part here where the map splits. So what is the middle part? This is called the river. The river is pretty much what you want to control late game, but this is why you want to kind of control the river. There is a big pit here, as you can see, which is pretty much in the middle of both sides. So you have one here and one here. What is this? Well, this is where Drake spawns. Drake is a, well, it's a buff for your whole team that will buff your team until the game ends. So it's actually very crucial thing to take in the game, and also why this is a little bit of a team game, since you need your team to fight for these, because everyone knows the Drake is very important. Both team will try to fight for it. So the one who gets it gets the benefits of it. You could also steal it. Let's say you come in and kill it before like the enemy team does, or it's 1 HP and you come and land a spell or a basic attack, you get it, you will get the buff. Like you don't have to do the most damage to it, you just have to take it. You have to last hit the Drake to get the buff. More about the Drakes, but let's just talk about, well, what the Drake does. So the first Drake we're gonna talk about is the Cloud Drake. So this is a Cloud Drake. It is I would say the weakest Drake right now out of all the Drakes, because the buff itself, okay, it's good, but it doesn't, well, we're gonna talk about the other Drakes, but just let me tell you what it gives. So this Drake gives a 3.5% slow resist and bonus moment speed. So it isn't a big deal. It is not the worst, but it is fine. I mean, yeah, people really don't like this Drake, but it is okay. It's not the best. It's not the worst. Or maybe it is the worst, I'd say. Yeah, this is definitely the worst Drake. But yeah, this is one of the Drakes. The other Drake I want to talk you to is, again, there's 5 total Drakes in this game. So there will always be 5 Drakes in the game, but in each game, you will only see 3 Drakes. You might be wondering, why is that? Well, the first 2 Drakes in every game is gonna be randomized. So it's gonna be one of the 5 that I'm gonna talk you to about. But the third one is gonna be spawned until one of the teams collects 4 total Drakes. So the 2 is randomized and the third is gonna be spawned. Literally, it's gonna be one of the same. So it can't be one of the randomized. So let's say you have a one of the 2 Drakes in the beginning, then the second one is gonna be a randomized again, and the third one is gonna be one of the 3 that hasn't been shown yet. So it can't be the one of the 2 first. It can only be one of the 3 we haven't seen yet, if that makes sense. I hope you guys understood a little bit of that. And why is that? We're gonna talk about why a team can only collect 4 as well. But let's just go through all the Drakes first. This is the second Drake I want to talk to you. It's called Ocean Drake. What is an Ocean Drake? Well, if you get this, your whole team will get 2.5% of your missing health every 5 seconds. And again, you can stack these. So let's say you get 2 of these, then you're gonna get 5% every 5 seconds. If you get 3 of these, you're gonna get 7.5%. And if you get all 4 of these, you're gonna get 10%. That is big. That's why usually, again, Drakes is very important of the game. It's actually huge if you think about it. 10% of your HP every 5 seconds, and the enemy team doesn't have that. Just imagine how beneficial it is for your team. Again, we're gonna talk about every Drake a little bit. So this is the Ocean Drake, and this one is called Infernal Drake. Infernal Drake grants you 4% AD and AP. AP is like every spell that does magic damage, so 4% bonus to that will at least make you deal a little bit more damage, as well as attack damage. So every basic attack or every champion that deals attack damage dealing spells will get a beneficial from this. Literally every champion in the game uses one of these, so you're gonna get both of them anyways. But it's a very strong Drake. In my opinion, this is one of the stronger Drakes. I'd say Ocean and this one is probably my favorite Drakes to get. Again, it is stackable, so it's 4, 8, 12, 16 percent, not for damage or for AP, it's percentage. So it's very strong late game when you're like full build and stuff. A very strong Drake. This Drake, the Mountain Drake, this is beneficial for tanks because this will grant you 6, 12, 18 and 24% armor and magic resist. So if you have a tank player in the team and imagine you get 4 of these, his stats is gonna shoot through the roof. I mean, this is not this is a good Drake, but again, it's really beneficial only for tanks, because squishies, or like if you're a champion that doesn't deal or build tanky, you're not gonna get too much stats from this Drake, if that makes sense. But it's still a good Drake to have in your team. Doesn't really, well, again, it really beneficial tanks, but it's still a decent Drake. But just because of the reasons of people usually don't build, like they don't build too much tanky items, this Drake is not my favorite, but it's still a good Drake. This Drake is the newest one in League of Legends. It's called the Hextech Drake. So Hextech gives you 6, 12, 18, 24 ability haste and attack speed, and that is not percentage wise, it's just flat stats. 6, 12, 20, 18 and 24. Oh wait, no, it is my bad, it is percentage wise, I think. No, okay, no, my bad, but it's 6, 12, 18, 24 ability haste flats, and it's 6, 12, 18, 24 percentage attack speed. That's it. Yeah, that is what I wanted to say. Again, this Drake is good. I like it, but attack speed is usually used for the attack damage champions. So it's, again, good. You get ability haste, which makes your cooldowns go down, so you can use spells more often. It's not bad. It's still good. Attack speed is beneficial for everyone in the laning phase, so granting these Drakes for your team, perfect. So now we're going to go to why each team only can collect 4 Drakes. So if the team gets 4 Drakes, they get a soul, okay? So let's say you get the soul, there will be no more Drake spawning. Like, there won't be a Drake you can get again as a one of these I've shown you. You can't get them because they will stop spawning, and there will be a Drake called Elder. So before we talk about Elder, I just want to talk to you about what the buffs does, like the soul does. So let's say you collected 4 of a Drake. You collected 4 of, let's say, the Cloud Drake, the first Drake we talked about. Now you will get an extra buff on top of all the buffs you already have, and it's going to be permanent until the game ends. So what does a Cloud Drake soul do? Well, it will grant you 10% bonus movement speed, and it will increase to 60% for 6 seconds after you cast your ultimate. So let's say you go in, you use your ultimate, and then you can just run out because you'll be uber fast. No one can catch you. It is, again, not the strongest soul. It's still decent soul, but not the strongest one. You're gonna hear why when we talk about the different souls. If you guys want to learn more about the souls and the stats wise of them, just Google League of Legends souls or Drake souls, and you will get the, like, how much it scales and stuff. I just want to talk a little bit, like, kind of summarize them a little bit. The Ocean Soul, so the second Drake we talked about, it will heal you for a percentage every time you basic attack a champion or use a spell on a champion. So it is very strong late game, especially if you have the soul, because when you, like, let's say you're fighting, you will always have more HP because you can get HP back when you're dealing damage, if that makes sense. So you'll always get more HP back fighting. Is very strong in, like, long fights because you will always have better sustain. So Ocean Drake, again, the soul is just, in my opinion, one of the strongest late game souls. So if you see there's a ocean on the map, or like the third one is the Ocean Drake, you have to go for it. Again, this soul has probably the highest win rate in League of Legends. So whoever gets this soul usually wins the game pretty much. The Infernal Soul, which was the third Drake we talked about, well, this is also one of the strongest, just because every time you use a basic or a spell, your spell will kind of explode and do splash damage to everyone it hits, which is, again, kind of big, and it does a lot of damage, especially late game, because it scales a lot with your, like, base AP or base AD. So this soul will, again, be very beneficial in, like, fights, since you will do more damage, and it's going to be AoE, so you're going to hit multiple targets. Even if you have a single target spell, it's going to explode and land on more people. So this soul is very, very strong in my opinion. Again, the Mountain Drake soul, which was the fourth Drake we talked about, this one is also very strong, but again, the rest, I feel like Infernal and Ocean is just kind of more powerful. This will grant you a shield, and the shield is, again, scaling with your AP and AD. Kind of strong. I mean, I like it. It's not the best, it's not the worst, it's kind of like in the middle. I feel like the Cloud Soul is the worst. The Mountain is like a little bit above, and the Infernal Ocean is pretty much like my top tier favorite souls to get. And the fifth Drake we talked about was the Hextech one. The Hextech is, well, kind of like the Infernal, where it kind of splashes, but this one kind of is like a electricity. So let's say you land a spell, they will have like a chain of thunder hitting 4 champions, and it will slow and deal true damage to them. So again, not a bad soul. I would say, like, Hextech, Infernal, and Ocean is my favorite. Pretty much the most used, or not most used, but like highest win rated souls are probably those three. Mountain and Cloud is playable against, but I feel like if someone has an Infernal or Hextech, they automatically have more power pretty much. So let's say you got the soul. Well, now no more Drakes is gonna spawn, as I said, right? No, there's gonna be one more Drake, or depending on how long the game is, but this is pretty much what we call the game ender Drake. It's called the Elder Drake. Kind of looks like this. It is pretty much, yeah, this is the best Drake, but it's only spawned after someone collects 4 of one Drake. So if you have the soul, or either team has a soul, this will be the next Drake spawning. And what does this Drake do? Well, this Drake is pretty much, again, what we call the game ender. So whoever has this Drake is in the front seat of ending the game. Again, you don't need to have the soul to be able to take this Drake, since it is like both team can still take it, depending on, even if you have 0 Drakes, the other team has 4, you can still take this. You will get the buff. And this buff is, first of all, it deals true damage, burning. So like every spell you will hit, you will deal or burn true damage. And when you reach like 20% of your HP, you will just insta die. Like it will just execute you. So this Drake is the most powerful Drake in the game, but it is only spawned after someone collects the soul. So you won't see this until like 35 minutes, which is pretty much a League of Legends game is usually ending like in 30 minutes. So, but again, if you ever see this Drake, or if you ever get this Drake, just know you can just go ham, and you will, like, if they go below 20%, you're just gonna see your Drake, because you're gonna have it as a buff, and a Drake is gonna spawn and just shoot them with a laser and just execute them pretty much. This is, again, one of the strongest Drakes just because of this, but makes sense because it's like, yeah, it just spawns very, very late. And yeah, it's just, again, very, very annoying Drake to face if you are facing this a team with this Drake, or who has this buff. So it only lasts for 2.5 minutes, so it's not the longest, but 2.5 minutes in League of Legends is a lot. Like, you can do a lot with those 2.5 minutes, depending on like if you play the game well. But yeah, so now you're gonna think like, okay, this kind of pit is for Drakes, but what is this for? So here again we have another buff, or another kind of a monster. We have 2. The first one is called, well, this is called Herald. So what is a Herald? Well, Herald is kind of a boss again that you kill, and when you kill this, you get the eye of a Herald. So this is called Herald. We get his eye, and now we can spawn Herald in a lane. So what does a Herald do? Well, Herald smashes into turrets and deal a lot of damage. So literally, you spawn this. Let's say you are playing top lane, you spawn this, and it will smash into the turret, either destroying it depending on how much HP the turret has. But this deals a lot of damage to the turret. Like, it can pretty much almost one-shot a turret late game. Again, a very good tool to push the game. So if you get this, you will probably take a turret most definitely. If you play as a team, you spawn this, it helps you take turrets. Enemy, it does have a lot of HP, so players usually can't like one-shot this or whatever, or stop you from taking a turret. So this is what the Herald does. You can get a max of 2 Heralds. This spawns at like, I think 8 minutes or 6, and then it spawns again depending on how fast you kill it. It will spawn before 20 minutes. So at 20-minute mark, you will get a buff in that same pit. Instead of this Herald, you will in the same pit get something called a Nasher. So what is Nashers? Well, Nasher looks like this. Not the most beautiful thing in the world, but this is pretty much the one monster, like, again, as the Elder Drake, is a very big game changer. First of all, this grants your whole team 300 gold each when you kill it. It also grants you like bonus AP, bonus AD, and you will have faster recall. So let's say the enemy team is trying to take your Nexus. Well, this will insta recall you, like 1 second recall instead of like 5. Very, very good in like defending and kind of split pushing moments in the game. As well as it has like an aura that buffs your minions. So your minions gets stronger. They have more defensive stats. They get more like armor and magic as well as HP. They deal more damage, so it will take the enemy team longer to kill your minions, which also helps you kind of attack the turret more, so you can like push easier with this when you kill the Nash. So Nash is pretty much, again, like the Elder, a game changer. This means a lot because, again, you lose a lot of gold value since your whole team gets 300 gold. You get like the buff and it lasts for 3 minutes, so it's a little bit longer than the Elder Drake, but it's like the biggest part is the gold and the XP, since that will actually be the kind of how the game decides, like late game. Because let's say you're level 12, someone is level 15, well, he's automatically gonna be stronger, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the map for now. Again, if you guys wanna, well, if you guys have any questions, please ask them in the comments down below. This is how the map looks pretty much. Again, you start either red or blue each game. You have a mid lane, you have a top lane, you have a bot lane. Bot lane has a support and the ADC. Jungle, again, it says jungle, but you only have one jungler. This is like his whole space, this big area here. He can pretty much farm both. Enemy player farms both as well. So now you'll learn a little bit about the Drakes. Again, if you're new to the game, if you're already playing this game, you should be knowing this by now. But if you're new to the game, now you know a little bit about the Drakes. You know a little bit about the Nash and the Herald, what it does, and yeah. So let's go on to the video. This is, again, as we talked about, this guide is gonna be for the new players and people who are iron and gold. So before we start going through some stuff, I just want to say, I hope people watching this doesn't take offense in what I'm about to say, or get tilted or get frustrated about the things I'm gonna say. Again, we're doing this for the purpose of you climbing, and if you take offense, well, I can't really help it, because I'm not gonna say anything offensive. I'm just gonna tell the truth. But if you feel offended, well, I mean, what can I do? I hope you don't, but yeah, let's just go through with this. So the thing I have in League of Legends is called the 1,000-hour rule. So this goes on to any game. Doesn't really matter if it's League of Legends, if it's CSGO, whatever. The first 1,000 hours of a game you're playing, 1,000 hours sounds a lot, I know, but the first 1,000 hour is pretty much where you will improve the most. Like, again, you're new to the game, you're soaking up like all the information you get in, you're kind of like learning the game, you're having new experiences, everything. But after those 1,000 hours, you will not have as big of an improvement, or you won't see as big of a change to your play, because again, the information is already there. You kind of already know what the game is about, but now it's just how much or how fast you kind of pick the other information up. So let's say you're playing the first 200 hours, you haven't really understood what your lane is. So let's say someone plays the game for 5 hours and he's already learned what his like role is, or what his lane is supposed to do, then he can already be kind of jumping up to the next step. But if you're stuck in like one concept of the game for too long, then again, you're just gonna kind of slowly progress until you get stuck. But depending on how fast you progress, the faster you will kind of soak up new information, and the higher rank you will get, the more information you will pretty much have. So again, if you have played this game for 1,000 hours, so let's say you are playing this game for 4 seasons and you're still silver 1, then your progression has already stopped. Like, you're not going to improve at the game in a rapid phase. You're just going to improve slowly, depending on if you want to improve, like if you're really tryharding to improve. But if you're stuck in silver after 1,000 hours, well, now don't expect to jump in like to plat in 1 season, because now the progression is going to get slower and slower. The learning curve is going to be lower and lower, since again, you already know the game, but you haven't improved enough to kind of like excel, if that makes sense. But let's say you play this game for 10 hours and then you quit for a year and then you come back. Well, that's also not going to be beneficial, because you want to play the game constantly, so your information is just updating or like upgrading every time. You don't want to play and then stop and then play, because then you're just gonna forget the stuff you learned, and you're gonna go back and learn it, and then you're gonna stop again and then go back. And you just want to constantly play the game. Again, looking through how to play and just improving, watching pros or whatever, which takes me to the next segment. So if you're serious about this game and if you really want to climb, again, most people who plays League ranked hopefully wants to climb and play serious. Like if you're playing ranked and you're not serious, we have an issue here. But if you're serious about climbing, focus on 2 to 3 champions in 2 lanes. So let's say we haven't talked about the lanes just yet, but let's say you are, well, I want to play top and I want to play mid. Well, then choose 2 to 3 champions mid that you're gonna spam and you're gonna learn as well as possible. Not playing different champs because, oh, I got bored of my champ. No, have 2 to 3 champions you can rotate in between. If you get bored of one champ, you play the second champ. If you get bored of that, you play the third champ. And then if you get bored of the third champ, you go back to the first champ in 2 different lanes. So let's say you play 3 champs mid, 3 champs top. You just want to spam them and spam the role. You don't want to be like, okay, mid lane is boring, now I'm going to play support, until you actually learn the game. So you want to learn the game before swapping roles or looking into a new role, because again, it will just refresh your information gain and you actually like lose LP. And then let's say you're silver 1, you drop down to silver 4. Oh, now I learned support and now you get back to silver 1, but now support is boring. Let me try jungle, and then you demote back again to silver 4. It's just gonna hinder your progress. Instead, try to improve in 2 lanes. Get as good as possible. Even 1 lane is best, but like you're never gonna get 1 lane in League of Legends, since you always have to choose 2 roles you want to play. You have a main role and a secondary role. Well, usually you are supposed to get your main role more often, but League of Legends is a little bit tricky these days, so you might actually get your secondary role more often, but depending on how many players play the role you are maining. So it's good to play 2 roles, practice them, play consistently. Like I said, we don't want to play and then stop, because it's going to hinder our progress in improving in the game. If you can't play, or if you're bored of playing, watch pros or watch your favorite Twitch streamer and try to improve in the game. Rather watch higher elos and lower elos. There's a lot of people streaming with smurf accounts. We don't want to watch that, because if they're smurfing from, let's say, challenger to bronze, they're just gonna smash people, and you're gonna be like, well, why can't I do that? Well, again, he's smurfing. Rather watch challenger and then try to see how he plays it, like if he's the way he plays the lane or how he plays the map. Whatever role you're gonna choose, watch that pro in that respective lane. So let's say you want to play jungle, then you watch junglers. If you want to play mid, you watch mid laners. Should be fairly simple and self-explanatory why you should do that. But yeah, so let's just move on. Again, if you're not playing seriously, if you're playing for fun, don't play ranked. Why do I say this? Well, first of all, ranked is made to try hard, okay? You're supposed to play your best way and take whatever you have learned from the normal games or co-op games, whatever you have played. You try to take what information you have gotten and put into ranked and try to play the best way you can to win a game. If you are, let's say you are a support main, you're bored, you can queue a ranked, and then you play top and you're playing a champion you never played, and then you lose the game. You're not ruining the game only for yourself or your own progress. You're actually ruining it for others, which is not ideal. And this is why League of Legends community is probably one of the most toxic communities in like every game or the games that are out there. It's because a lot of people do this. They lose a couple of games in their main role, they get frustrated, they choose a role they don't really care about, and then they start playing new champions because they get the ego of like, it's not my fault I'm losing, but I will just lose again or something. I don't know. I'm really not sure why people play for fun in ranked. If you want to play for fun, play in normals where it doesn't matter or where you can't ruin it for other players that are actually tryharding. Just imagine you get people who are tryharding and then you're not. You're already kind of already making them lose the game. So please, guys, like if you're playing for fun, play normal games. If you want to practice a new role, play normals. If you want to play a new champion, play normals. I can't be more like I can't say that hard. Like you have to play normals if you're not kind of common, or like if you're not used to a champion or a role, don't play ranked. That's simple. Like you should be permabanned if you do. Anyways, let's go through to the next segment here. Drop the ego. If you're not climbing or have 50% overall win rate, you are to blame. So what do I mean with that? So let's say you are playing the game, and you are complaining about not climbing, but you have 50% overall, like less than 50% overall win rate. So in League of Legends, this is kind of like a system we have here. There's like 30% of every game you play in, it's gonna be easy wins. Like you're just gonna get the better teammates. Enemy team is just gonna be, well, either having the more of the play for fun players or people who are trolling, and then you're gonna have the better players. So 30%, you don't actually don't have to do anything. You're just gonna win the games. Like you can pretty much stay AFK, you're gonna win. And then 30% is gonna be the opposite. You're gonna get the trollers and you're gonna face the better players, and just overall you're gonna get smashed. Like nothing you can do will impact how the outcome will be, because you're just gonna face better players, or you're gonna have more of the play for fun and the enemy is not. So you're gonna lose 30% of your games no matter what you do. And then you have 40%, which is gonna be fairly balanced. So enemy team is gonna have 5 people that are not trolling or smurfing or no high elo players. Same with you guys. Everyone, it's gonna be perfectly balanced. Now it's up to you. How well do you play to win this game? Like how well can you play the game now? Like, let's say your top lane is losing, your jungle is winning, your support is winning, but your AD carry is losing, vice versa, whatever. Then it's up to let's say you play mid lane. It's up to one of you guys. The better mid laner is gonna win the game, and the worst mid laner, he's gonna lose the game. So we don't want to be in those scenarios where the 40%, when it's all up to us, we don't want to lose those games. And that's where usually people have negative win rates, because they lose most of the 40% games. Again, because either they can't do their job in the respective lane they chose, or they're just not good enough to climb. So if you have 50% or less win rate, then again, guys, I'm sorry to say this, but you are to blame. Like, it's just the way it is. If you don't understand this concept, again, drop the ego. Like, everyone can climb, especially in these lower elos. If you're good enough, you will be climbing. There is some elos where it's very hard, depending on, like, Diamond 4 is known for having the most like population of players, because people usually get diamond and then they kind of quit the game. They're finished with rank. They're just gonna troll around now, ruin it for most of the players. That is why Diamond 4 is elo hell. People who call diamond or gold or silver elo hell, again, drop the ego, guys. I'm sorry. Anyways, let's move forward with don't play hard mechanical champs if you don't know the basics yet. So again, this is people gonna take a little bit of to heart with this, and you guys have to, if you are iron, if you're bronze, or if you're silver, even gold, and you play champions like Lee Sin, you play champions like Yasuo, you play champions like Vayne, you play champions like, every champion that is hard mechanical, Aurelia, whatever. If you play those champions and you can't climb, don't blame anyone but yourself, okay? The 1,000-hour rule here, again, let's say you start out the game, okay? You play something like Yasuo. I'm fine with that. Like, you play the champion, sure, you might improve, you might not, or you will learn the champ, or, whatever. But let's say you have played your first 1,000 hours and you're still silver and you're still playing Yasuo and you go in 50% win rate. Your games are looking like one game you go 110, or the next game you go 5-0, wow, but you're still 50%. Like, it doesn't matter. You're still winning one game, losing one game. That is not how you climb ranks. So if you again have played more than a season, or if you have played more than 1,000 hours, people are gonna be like, I haven't played 1,000 hours, I'm on like 5 because I played 5 ranked games. Doesn't matter if you play normal games, ARAMs, or just again custom games, doesn't matter. As long as you have played 1,000 hours, which is usually like around 1 to 2 seasons of the game, if you play consistently. So like, just imagine, it's like 2,000 league games, that is 1,000 hours. So if you play, I'm not sure how many games you have to play to actually get level 30, but already there you have lost like 100 hours, so yeah, if you're playing hard mechanical champs and you can't climb, drop them. Let's move to something easier to play, and something you can actually learn and just improve faster, because the champions are gonna be easier and it's not gonna be as costly. So that's why I say this. I'm not trying to offend anyone or be like again, if you play for fun, sure, play the Yasuos and Lee Sins in the jungle or whatever. But if you're bronze, silver, iron, and you can't climb, do not sit here and blame your team, because again, you're playing a very hard champion. I don't care if you had 2 kills, you're still misplaying. Like, if you watch pros, their Lee Sins can carry a 0-10 like overall team by themselves. Why? Because they know the game. Okay, I'm not gonna rant too much, guys, but let's just move forward, okay? Let's just move forward. I hope this was interesting, and hopefully, again, people don't take offense, but let's just move to the lanes now, okay? So the first lane I want to talk about, top lane. I have called this lane, the Lonely Wolf. Why? So top lane usually are alone a lot. They are like, this is why the lane has been called an island, because most of the time, you don't get a lot of help, you don't get a lot of pressure from your team, because again, as you saw on the map, we're at the highest mountain, okay? Sure, bot lane is the same, but bot lane is closer to Drake. So usually the jungle and the mid lane will play towards bot to kind of secure the Drake. So top lane usually are alone. So if you're looking to play this game, or again, if you are someone who wants to swap roles, why would you want to play top lane? Well, top lane is designed for people who likes to duel a lot, because again, we are gonna be solo. It's gonna be a lot of like, we're gonna be in tight areas, you versus me. We have to fight it out against ourselves. Like, we're not gonna get any help. No one is coming. It's just you versus me. So if you feel like, well, I am pretty good at the game, I have good mechanics, I have good like duels, I know when to fight, maybe top lane is a role you should start playing. But again, this is all depending on you. If this is not something you feel like you are, well, maybe this lane is not for you then. Again, top lane has many different options in champions. We have range champions, we have tanks, and then we have bruisers. But mostly it's going to be bruisers who are melee, and again, a lot of duels. But if you are wanting to play this lane, it's good that you're going to be solo, and it's going to be limited help for you and the enemy team. So let's say you are winning. Well, this guy is going to keep losing because he's not going to get any help. Perfect. So if you feel like you're the player that literally stomps, or like you're always winning lane, hey, top lane is for you. If you're already playing top lane, I mean, this should make sense. You know, when you put someone behind, they're going to have a struggle getting back into the game, because the jungler, again, is mostly ganking bot to kind of secure Drakes. So don't expect the enemy top or yourself to get any help. This also is a very good lane to learn wave management. So again, wave management is a little bit advanced, but this will help you sooner or later. Like if you're climbing, you will get to a point where someone has a better wave management, and you'll be like, what am I supposed to do here? Wave management is kind of hard to learn early in the game, I guess. But wave management is just where you kind of, well, you should be Googling this or YouTubing this, but it's when you freeze, slow push, shove, and just, again, zone your enemy. So let's say you're freezing, you have, well, it's kind of hard to go into now, but like, just search wave management. But if you're playing top lane, you will be learning this either the hard way, because someone might do this to you where they freeze and zone you off, and you'd be like, well, I'm already losing, and now we can't even CS anymore because this guy is like stopping me from getting to my minions. This is what top laners usually do. They zone you off minions so you can't farm, and you'll be even more behind than, well, what you should be. I'm gonna make a wave management video sooner, or not sooner, but I'm gonna make a wave management and freezing kind of a guide. So again, if you wanna learn more about wave management, just follow my channel and the video will be up soon. Again, let's just go through with the cons of top lane. If you mess up, it's hard to come back. Again, like we said, you're mostly solo here, so if you lose, or if you kind of die a lot in the top lane, it's kind of over. You can't, like, it's just hard to get back into the lane. Again, now you can get dove, like this guy is just gonna perma fight you, and if you are losing the first couple of duels, you're just gonna keep losing the second and the third and the fourth duel. So again, this lane, you have to play it well. If you go behind, sad news, you're gonna be behind. The second one is, again, kind of the same. You don't get a lot of help from your team. Yes, there might be occasional ganks from the jungle, it might be occasional ganks from the mid lane, but mostly you're gonna be solo. If that's not something you like, then maybe you should look into some other role. If you are a top laner, you want to swap, I mean, yeah, makes sense. The third one is you need to learn the wave management. So like I said, if you do not know wave management, and let's say someone else does it to you where they have a better wave management, you're gonna learn the hard way, and it's not gonna be pretty. Okay, it's gonna be very, very brutal. You're gonna feel so bad. But it's also good because now you will actually get the insight of like what is wave management and how beneficial it is. But yeah, if let's say all of this makes you say, hey, listen, I want to play top lane. I got the 3 champions you should play. So these 3 champions are very easy to learn, very easy to get good at, and very easy to climb with, in my opinion. So let's say you get good on the champions, expect to climb. They are kind of fairly simple, and people usually probably know these champions by now. But the first one, Garen. I mean, if you guys didn't guess it, hey, Garen doesn't have mana, so you don't have to worry about using spells and losing mana. He has a Q, probably like pretty much to go in, go for a trade. Let's just talk about his passive first. So his passive is when you don't get damage for a while, you start regenning your HP. So the higher level you are, the higher regen you'll get. So let's say you take a bad trade, you just go a little bit backwards, you stay there for a while, and you will get your HP back. So it's pretty decent champion to be solo with, since you're gonna get some HP regen back if you're losing a trade. Let's say you go for an even trade, you still do the same, you'll get more HP, and then you will start like winning trades. So his Q is like an enchanted basic attack. You get some extra movement speed. You also break slows on you. So let's say someone slows you, you Q, you break free. Your next basic attack is enchanted. You land it on a champion. He gets silenced. So when he gets silenced, he can't flash, he can't do any spells, he's just stuck there. Then you can use your W to get like shielding for the next kind of spell he's gonna throw. You use your E, which is a spin, deals a lot of damage, and when they get low enough, you use R. So pretty basic combo, kind of a champion, doesn't really require a lot, doesn't have any skill shots. Literally, all you have to do, Q, you run in, E, and then you R. Very simple champion, very easy champion to learn. Again, the more you play him, the more you will see that he's actually kind of strong as well. Like, he's never bad in any meta, because usually the most you played champions top, Garen counters. Like, he's good against the most played top champions. So trust me, play Garen. If you are not playing Garen already, what are you waiting for? The second champion I want to talk about is Tryndamere. Same here. This guy is not using mana. Instead, he has Fury, which is his passive. So Fury, the more Fury you have, the more attack damage you will get. This is, again, a strong champion because mana is usually most of new players' issue. They spam spells, but this guy, hey, you don't have mana, you don't have to worry about it. So his Q is literally like, the less HP you have, the less HP you have, the more damage you get. So his, like, literally, again, this champion is good because he kind of excels in the area where he doesn't need, like, you're always gonna be stronger because you have more damage from your spells, pretty much. So again, the more HP you're missing, the more attack damage you will get, and the more attack damage you will get, the more damage you will deal. His passive, again, you don't have mana, you have Fury, but every 10 Fury, you will get more crit strikes. So the more Fury you have, the more critical chance you will have. So let's say you have 100, well, then you have a 40% of critting, which means you can, let's say you're trading, use basic attack, you crit, like crit will do double the attack or your basic attack damage. So you just go in, do more damage. Let's say he's trading back, you're losing HP. Well, now you will get even more attack damage, which will make your crit even stronger. So very strong champ. And again, this is his Q passive where you get more damage. But let's say you're losing a lot of HP, you can activate your Q to get, like, you soak up your Fury to get HP back. So the more Fury you have, the more HP you'll get back. Again, very strong in terms of like trading. You can have a bad trade, you can still heal back up without going to base. And he's a kind of straightforward champion. His W will, like, if the enemy champions are facing you, they will, if they're facing you, they will get AD damage reduction. If their back is turned against you, they will also get slowed. So again, if you're chasing someone, perfect, you're gonna slow them and then you're just gonna chase them down pretty much. His E, you will spin around. Again, you dash kind of or not dash, but like you move forward with your spin. It deals damage on every champion it hits. And the more the more damage you have, the more damage it will do. Pretty much kind of simple. And let's say you go in for a trade, you kind of lose it, you're getting beat up, then you just press R. His R is literally Undying Rage, so you can't die with this up. So you press R and you're literally, even if you're 0 HP, you will live on for 5 seconds. So this is perfect. You go in for a trade, let's say he's winning it, you press R, you're surviving for 5 seconds, you kill him, and then you use your Q to soak up the Fury for HP. Ta-da! You won your lane, you killed him, and you survived. Perfect. So this champion, the more you play him, the more like you get kind of comfortable with the champion. You will definitely climb elo because this champion is very good to split push, to fight, to trade, anything. Helps you learn the game a lot as well. So definitely try to play Tryndamere if you guys haven't. I would say he's a fairly easy champion to learn, fairly easy champion to climb with. So if you haven't, try him for sure. So the third champion I want to talk about is Malphite. Well, Malphite, again, these two are kind of like bruisers. They like to trade a lot. Malphite is a tank. This is also, he's a very simple champion, but he's very good in most team comps just because of like his basic kit. So his passive is when you don't take damage for a while, you get like an extra shield. So again, very good for, let's say you go for a trade, you get chunked, you just wait for your passive, you get your shield back, and now you are a little bit stronger. His Q, he throws like a rock that slows the enemy team, also deals damage. Again, you can Q someone in lane used to get some damage off. It's not a skill shot, it's just a point click. His W scales out of A, so his passive on his W is the more armor you have, the more armor you will get. So he's very strong against these champions like Garen, Tryndamere, who likes to basic attack a lot because you'll have a lot of armor. So this guy won't deal a lot of damage to you. And the more armor you have, the more armor you will get. And the active on his W, he will like he will kind of enchant his basic attacks that deal the more damage with the more armor you have, if that makes sense. So the more armor you have, the more damage your W will do, and the more armor you will get from your W. So you just perma stack armor on this guy and you will be kind of unkillable. Again, he's very strong against out attacking champions like Master Yi, Tryndamere. So if you have again haven't played Malphite, try him. His E, every time, or if anyone is close to you and you E, you will slow their attack speed. Again, very strong against basic attack champions or AD carries. His R is again kind of like a big ranged knockup, so it is a skill shot, but it's so big that it's kind of hard to miss. Again, very strong champion. If you haven't played Malphite, he could be your, like, again, I told you guys to pick 2 or 3 champions. This could be your tank champion. Tryndamere could be your bruiser champion, and Garen could be like your pocket pick against most of the annoying champions top lane that you'll be facing. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the top lanes. If you guys are wondering about this lane, I hope I cleared a little bit up for you. If this is a lane you want to play, this is it. I mean, this is the cons and pros. If you are interested in some of the champions, try them, please. Like, you have a practice tool, go in there and try it out. Let's just move on to the jungle. So the jungle, I have called this lane, the brain. So what is the jungler's job? Well, the jungler's job, in my opinion, that is someone who likes to plan and outsmart the enemy. So what I mean with this is you have to have a plan as a jungler to what to do. Like, who are you gonna gank? So the jungler's job is pretty much to gank and support every other lane. So you go from top, mid, and bots. And your plan is to, like, you have to have some kind of idea on what to do to win the game. So is top lane gonna be the lane you wanna gank to make him strong and make him win the 1v1? Then you can just leave that lane and focus on other lanes. Or do you wanna invade the enemy jungle? Do you want to go into his jungle and take his stuff? Like, you have to have a plan, and you always have to be one step ahead of the enemy jungler, because you don't want the enemy jungler to kind of win the game for his team. You know, you always want to be there to either counter gank or just be there in every scenario where he is and just be kind of annoying and fight for whatever he's fighting for. It can also be the game decider most of your games. So a good jungler is pretty much like the best thing you can have in a game. Like a good jungler that you don't even have to be scared of. Like most of the games, again, because most of the people play jungle, they haven't played it before, they don't know what to do, they kind of lost. But if you have a jungler that knows what to do, you can already see it in the way he plays. Like, okay, this jungler is good, he knows what to do, he knows what to take, and what, like, he has a plan, you know what I mean? So a good jungler is very, very, like, it is pretty much the best thing you can have in a game. This is why I usually say jungle is the best role to play, because you can be the game decider. Literally 90% of your games, you are controlling the game if you want to. If you don't, or if you can't, well, then the enemy jungler might just do it and you're to blame, pretty much. I'm kidding. And again, this lane is role is good because you don't have to focus so much on the 1v1, because in every lane you're gonna have an enemy right in front of your face. Jungle, you don't. You literally have the time to go around, do whatever you want. You don't have to be worried about someone who's popping up in your face. Yes, it happens occasionally, but not as often as like a lane where there is an enemy champion always. So if that's something you don't want to do, jungle is for you. Some pros and cons. Again, this is the pros. The cons are you will have a lot of pressure. This is, like I said, you can be the game decider. So if you mess up, let's say you don't take the drakes, but the enemy player does, well, then the pressure is, why is our jungle not taking drakes? Well, now they have 4 drakes. GG, FF, our jungle entered it. Well, you're gonna get flamed a lot, you're gonna get blamed a lot, so you're gonna have a lot of pressure. Again, mistakes can you lose your games. So let's say you're taking Nashor, or you call for Nashor, your whole team comes there, but you fail the smite. So every jungle has a smite. Smite is something that deals like, it's like instead of having a summoner spell, you have a smite. Smite deals like 900 damage instantly on jungle monsters. So let's say you and the enemy jungle both have them. You're fighting the Nashor. He jumps in and smites and take the Nash. Well, now you might have actually lost the game because you couldn't smite or you couldn't time it well. Now you're gonna be the one to blame, and you're gonna get flamed, and you're gonna again feel the pressure. You need to have good map awareness as a jungler, so you need to cover, you have to see what's going around on the map every time. So you have to know where people are going, what people are doing, if they have flashes, or if it's gankable. Like, you have to kind of check so much when you play jungle. And if you are a player who plays lock screen, or you're only having the mouse over your champ, maybe jungle is not for you. But even, like, let's say you have read all of this and you heard what I had to say, and you want to be like, I want to start playing jungle, or you're a new player and you feel like jungle is interesting, I have some champions for you to pick. Trundle. Trundle is a very easy jungler. First of all, when you kill a minion or something dies near you, you get HP back. Perfect. Now we don't have to worry about dying in the jungle. We can out-sustain it. This is why also the mechanical champions like Kha'Zix in the jungle, or like something like a Lee Sin, a little bit harder champions, you can easily mess up your jungle and get too low, and then you have to recall. But as a Trundle, you don't have to recall. You can just full clear and everything pretty easily. His Q, you literally kind of, again, enchant your basic attack. You chomp, so you bite a player or a minion. You can use it on both. You get some extra attack damage as well as dealing damage. His W is, well, you kind of form like a little circle, kind of a big circle. You can throw it, and then you'll get extra movement speed, extra attack speed, and you will get extra HP when you are standing on that little kind of like a blue, like, how can I say, round circle that he throws. But it's only for you, not for your team. But yeah, and then his E is literally you spawn a pillar that slows, and actually, like, you can actually block movement from the enemy. So let's say they're running, you can just throw a pillar in front of their face, and now they have to run around it so you can catch up. His R, you steal armor and magic resist as well as HP from an enemy champion. So let's say they have a Malphite that is full armor, you just press R on him and then you steal his armor. Perfect. So this champion is very strong all around. I think he is pretty good in the game right now as well. So if you haven't tried Trundle, please do. The second champion I want to talk about is Xin Zhao. Again, one of the champions that actually can't die in the jungle early. very good if you're learning the jungle to like learn how to fight the monsters in the jungle without like dying, and as well just kind of learning the routes, like jungle routes, what to take, how to move. Xin Zhao's passive, every third hit you get some HP back. Again, perfect, so you can sustain in the jungle. His Q is like every third, like you kind of enchant your basic attacks for 3 hits. The third hit will knock a champion up, so it's very strong. Let's say you fight someone, use Q, basic, boop, he pops up in the air, and you will have kind of like 1 or 2 basic attacks more than him, and you will probably win the fight. His W, he kind of like, how can I say, pierces with his I'm not sure what, his spear, I guess. And when you spear someone, like you deal damage AoE, very strong. Again, in the jungle, good for clears. His E, if you land your W, you can land your E from wherever he is. Like, let's say you W, he flash away, you can still E on it, because of like, the W is kind of like a, I'm gonna say, an extra range for your E pretty much. So the basic Xin Zhao combo is like your W, E, Q, you knock him up, and then you probably get your E back or W back up again. Kind of easy champion, straightforward champion. His R, so let's say you jump on someone, you're fighting him, and people are surrounding you. You press R, you spin around, knock everyone away. Anything outside your little circle won't be able to hit you. Perfect. Now you can fight the guy alone. Again, they can enter your little circle afterwards, and you, if they attack inside the circle, you will take damage. But he's very strong in terms of like dueling. So again, if you haven't played Xin Zhao in the jungle, please do. Very easy champ, very strong champion in my opinion. Kind of beats a lot of the junglers in 1v1s, and is very easy to gank with. The third champion is Master Yi. Whoop-da-doo, who wouldn't know? Master Yi, again, if you haven't seen him, his Q literally like you kind of jump into enemies invisibly. You can't get targeted because, again, you're inside a champion. You deal damage, and it's like, why even bother attacking, like trying to fight this guy? This guy is, again, easy champion, doesn't require a lot, doesn't have any skill shots except basic attacks. Every basic attack will grant him a stack of double strike for 4 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. So every time you hit something, if you hit them 3 times, your next attack will double strike, so you will do double hits. Again, you Q someone, you basic attack them, and then you will do double basic attacks, I guess. Does a lot of damage. His W heals himself, so you kind of meditate, you're standing still and healing. This is also makes you take less damage because it gives you damage reduction when you W. So let's say you fight someone, you're about to lose, you W, you heal up, and you take less damage, and the guy might just get frustrated and try to basic attack you, and then you get your Q back, and then you kill him pretty much. So if you activate your E, you will get true damage on every basic attack, so you will actually slice up tanks as well. I don't know why they give him that, but you will do true damage on every basic attack. Very, very strong. His R, he will get bonus attack speed and bonus movement speed, and he can't be slowed. So let's say you're chasing someone, they're running away, you pop R, chase after him, you can't get slowed, just run in, Q, and then again you do true damage with your E. Very easy champion. Again, straightforward, doesn't require a lot. If you play these 3 champions and you play them consistently, I promise you, Elo will be yours. Let's go and move on to my favorite lane, the mid lane. Again, I played all of these lanes, but the mid lane is the hybrid. So what do I mean with the hybrid? Well, mid lane does it all, okay? You're fighting 1v1. You are helping your teammates a lot with, again, roaming around, or you're supporting your jungler, whatever you want to do. So you're literally everywhere. But it also consists of 1v1s. Like I said, you have to fight the little enemy laner, you have to outbeat him, and also you have some pressure on like helping your team. If that's something you like, instead of playing top lane, maybe you want to play mid lane, because again, mid lane is more overall, you want to help your team as well as winning the 1v1s. If you're comfortable against like with winning, that's fine, there we go. But mid lane, again, we have so many different kind of champions here. We have assassins, we have mages, we have control mages, we have like scaling mages. We have so many different options, so it really depends on what you pick. Let's say you pick a scaling champion, well then you can't really help your team a lot because you need to scale up a little bit, which can cause some issues. But again, mid lane is fun lane to play. You do a lot of the stuff. You can either like, you can even help your jungler, you can help take drakes, heralds, you can gank bot, you can gank top. You're literally like a secondary jungle, if that makes sense, as well as having a 1v1 every time. But yeah, if you want to play mid lane, you have to farm well and know your win con. So what I mean with that is like, you have to CS. If you miss a lot of CS as a mid laner, you're just gonna stall out your power, which is gonna cause problem late game, as well as knowing his win con. So let's say you're playing a scaling champion, then you know like, I need to hit a certain level or a certain item before I can start winning. Play around it, like know it and don't try to fight. So let's say you're playing something like a let's just take a top laner for example, but let's put him mid. So Malphite, for example, his level 6 is a AoE knock up. So let's say you know I have to hit 6 so I can knock him up for my jungler. Then you just farm it safe. You don't try to fight this guy until he hits 6. And when he hits 6, now you can start fight. So you have to know your win con, as well as knowing, or you have to have good lane and wave management. So good laning is like, you can't really recall if there's a Drake up, because if you can't be at the Drake fight and the enemy mid is there, well, now your enemy mid lane is gonna kill the whole team, get Drake. Who's gonna get flamed? You. If you don't have good wave management, so again, you have to zone the champion. If you already are a bit ahead, you need to kind of excel that and get even more ahead by zoning them away from minions. So mid laner does have a lot of pressure on playing well, and this is like, again, one of the I would say jungle and mid lane is pretty much the most important roles in the game. If you have a bad mid laner, you're gonna have problems. If you have a bad jungler, you're gonna have problems. But every other lane, it's kind of survivable. Like, you can still win games even though the rest of the lanes are kind of ending or playing bad. If you can, again, use your lane to an advantage, if that makes sense. Again, like in chess, control the center and you can control the game. So if you haven't never played chess, people usually try to take control of the mid. So it's kind of same in League of Legends. If you can control the mid lane, you can control the top area, you can control the bot area, you can control drakes, you can control heralds, you can help your jungler invade. Like if he wants to go into enemy jungle, you can help him. You have so much room to do stuff as a mid laner if you can play the role well. So again, if this is something that you want to play, listen to the cons first before you choose, like swap lanes or whatever. You have to farm well. That's number one thing with mid lane. You have to CS well, but sometimes it can be hard because you're facing someone who's trying to kill you every time. So you have to kind of balance it out. You have to kind of CS well as lane, as well as not dying a lot. You need to control the mid. Again, if you lose control of the mid and the enemy mid laner is doing all the stuff I told you can do, like let's say like in chess, he's controlling the center now you're gonna get flamed because you can't help him moving to gank bot. You can't help your jungler survive if the enemy mid laner moves because you are kind of losing control. So you need to control the mid, or else you'll get flamed a lot and mostly lose a lot of games only because of this. Mistakes are costly, so kind of like the top lane, this is even worse because in top lane, let's say you make a mistake and you die. Well, now you died and the enemy top laner got a kill. But let's say the enemy mid laner roams, let's say he runs all the way bot, kills your support and AD carry. Well, now you messed up your bot lane role, or bot lane's lane, and also you made 3 people fed. So you made mid fed, you made support and AD carry. Who's that to blame? You. So mistakes are costly. If you make too many mistakes as a mid laner and the enemy mid laner doesn't, you're gonna have a bad time. But let's say, even though this is what you want to play, I want to give you 3 champions, not in specific order, by the way, just giving you 3 champions that you should try. First one is Annie, very, very basic champion. You land 4 spells or use 4 spells. Your next spell will stun. So let's say you play Annie. Q is very, very easy to literally, it's a spell that you can throw on a minion. If you kill it, you get back your Q and the mana for it. So you can literally farm with your Q. So this will make you, like we said, farm very well, which is one of the pros in mid lane. Her W is like kind of a short range AoE spell that does damage, but again, it is good in the scenarios if you flash and W, so like a whole team maybe, or flash. You can always flash Q, and anything you want to do with the champion. She's very strong. Her E literally makes her gain movement speed as well as neglecting damage because it kind of gives you damage reduction. Her R is you summon Tibbers, so you summon a bear that does damage, kind of like AoE damage all around, and it can basic attack champions as well. And when you spawn it, like you do damage on a AoE area, so you can flash R on a whole team, and your bear will like tear everyone apart. Very strong and very easy champion. Again, doesn't require a lot of brains to play this. You literally E, run, flash R, and you can win a team fight pretty easily. If you, again, have any as a first champion you want to play, then you might want to add something like a Malzahar. Malzahar is, again, we're called Prophet Malzahar because I like to play a lot of Malzahar because this champion, again, is very easy to learn. Doesn't really require a lot of brain power. And fairly strong. I wouldn't say like super strong, but it's fairly strong. So his passive, he gets a shield that can block a spell or a basic attack. So let's say any flash R's on you while your shield is gonna tank that, they're not gonna get stunned. You can use run away. Perfect. His Q, he throws like two kind of like how can I say, kind of like two stones or whatever. People are gonna flame me for this because it's my main champion kinda, but he throws like two stones and it comes like there's like a how can I say, like slices, and if you hit champions with the slice, you silence them. His W, every time you press on it, you will spawn a voidling, and voidlings can help you farm. Again, Malzahar is very good at farming. You E is literally, you press E, it's not a skill shot, you press E on something and it will tick for 4 seconds, and if you have E on like a minion and you spawn voidlings, your voidlings will do a lot of damage to that minion. And if your E kills a minion, so let's say you spawn, you press E, your voidling kills it, it's gonna bounce to the next minion. If there is no minions, it's gonna bounce to the champion if it's nearby. Perfect champion if you wanna, again, have kind of a free room to experience mid a little bit and learn the lane. His R, again, not a skill shot. You press R on someone, you suppress them for 2.5 seconds as well as dealing damage. Perfect champion to, like, again, set up ganks for your jungler. You flash R someone, basic combo. You see someone out of position, you flash E, W, R, and people should be cleaning him up. Again, very easy champion. If you haven't played Malzahar, please try him. Again, very kind of easy champion to learn. The third champion is Veigar. This is gonna get debatable because people are gonna say Veigar is not that easy. Well, in my opinion, Veigar is easy. His passive is every time you either get an assist or a kill, you will get 5 AP. If you kill a minion with your Q, you will get 1 AP. If you kill a kind of like a big minion, so let's say you kill a cannon or like jungle creeps, you will get, depending on what level your Q is, you will get bonus AP. So you can use farm with your Q and you will get free AP. So very good scaling champion. You kill minions, you get AP. You kill champions, you will get even more AP. So his Q is literally, he throws like a little kind of round ball on minions that can land on 2. So you can land it on 2 minions or 1 minion and a champion. His W literally spawns a comet from the sky. It's a kind of a skill shot, but yeah, you usually use that for farming. Or if you, again, this is his third spell, E, which is a circle. So you kind of throw this little circle, and if people kind of, how can I say, touch the walls, they will get stunned. But if they don't want to touch the walls, they can kind of get trapped inside the circle, and then you can land your W pretty easy, right? His R, this is also why he's so easy. His R is literally a skill that you can press on a champion. If they're low enough, you'll pretty much one-shot them, or if they have less HP, you will just one-shot them. Like very strong kind of click and point champions. Again, basic combo, you E, let's say you stun them, you W on top of them when they're stunned, you Q and you R, bye-bye, get some free AP. Very strong laning or scaling champion. Trust me, I have faced Veigars who was like 0-10 in a game. He just farmed well, and then all of a sudden he one-shots my whole team. If you haven't played Veigar, trust me and take it and start playing Veigar. You get free LP. Okay, let's just move forward to AD carry, the firepower. So what is a AD carry? AD carry stands for attack damage carry. As the name says, you're literally going to build pure damage, no defensive tools. You want to position as well as possible, deal as much damage as possible from the furthest range you can. You don't want to be in too close range because you don't want to get flashed any art, for example. You want to stay as far back and you deal as much damage as possible. Try to have like coverage so you don't get like flanked or someone comes from behind you, whatever. If that sounds fun, if that's something you like, well, this is for someone who likes to deal a lot of damage and wants to be the main carry. So if that's something you feel like, oh, I want to take on that role, sure. But this is, again, someone who likes to deal a lot of damage. If you want to deal a lot of damage, you have to farm well. And if you're going to be the main carry, well, then you will have to kind of get used to the experience of always being the target to kill. Like, everyone is coming for you. So AD carries can decide the outcome of a fight with your positioning. So let's say you fight and you're literally out of danger and you stand there and blast out attacks and you deal as much damage as possible. You're gonna pretty much win the fight, because if no one is able to get to you and you stand there killing everyone, well, GG, you pretty much won the fight. This is, again, well, people usually go for the AD carries, but if they don't, happy days for you. Also, you, again, like I said, you have to be good at farming here because you want to get to your damage items as fast as possible. You need to farm well. You need to get to your power spikes, and if you can't, well, it's gonna be trouble, because if the enemy, let's say enemy AD carry is farming better than you, well, then he's gonna do more damage in team fights, which will lead his team to winning the game. So a couple of cons, again, if you have poor positioning, you will not be able to deal ideal damage. Makes sense if you are, let's say, too far forward and you get hit by spells and you die. Hey, you're not gonna be able to do any damage because you're dead. Everyone is coming for you. Like I said, if you are the main carry, if you have good items, let's say you're very strong, you're fed, you're 5-0 in the game, expect people to come for you. Like, they're gonna be like, you have to kill the AD carry to win the fight, and everyone is literally gonna, well, try to pretty much one-shot you any way they can, flashing, whatever it takes to kill you. So you have to be ready for that. The team fight depends a lot on you. So like I said, with the positioning, you have to be able to deal damage. If you can't, well, you can either win or lose a team fight. So if you don't play this role well, you're gonna have some issues climbing. But let's say you want to play this role, you want to be able to climb, you want to be the main carry because you like the pressure. Well, I have the champion for you. The first one is Ashe. So Ashe is a fairly simple champion. She has a Q, which when you basic attack, it gets stacks. So whenever you are like, I'm not sure how many stacks, 4 stacks, I think, your Q will start, like, you will do rapid kind of shots that deal extra damage. Again, Ashe's basic attacks slows. So again, very strong champion if you are good with her. So let's say you're facing someone, every basic attack is slowing, they can't run away, they will be forced to fight you if they don't flash away. Perfect. You can kite champions as well, because if you, let's say someone chases you, you can use basic attack, run, basic attack, run, basic attack, and run, and it will be perma slowed. Her W is, as you can see, you throw like three shots of arrows that literally like hits more than one target. It's an AoE spell, as well as like it slows, so perfect. Again, if someone chases you, you can use W backwards, run away. Her E, so you send like a, how can I say, like a bird that you can send throughout the whole map to scout the enemy jungle, for example. So let's say you don't see anything, the map is dark, you just throw away an E, and then it will just scout the whole map, or not the whole map, depending on where you throw it or shoot it. It will like kind of reveal the area you're throwing it towards, and hopefully you can see the enemy jungler to know that, oh shit, the jungler is not going to be bot side, we're pretty safe here. Her R, she literally shoots a big arrow, and this is, you can throw it from anywhere on the map. It doesn't have range, it literally like it shoots till it hits someone or it misses. But if it hits someone, depending on how far you shot it from, will stun them for a longer duration as well as dealing damage. So Ashe is a strong champion to pick up if you're new to AD carry. Definitely try her. The second champion is Caitlyn. Why Caitlyn? Well, Caitlyn has the longest range of all the AD carries, so you're always going to have the range up on your enemy champions. Her Q or her basic attack is, again, if you land 8 basic attacks, your next basic will be a headshot. So headshot deals extra damage, or if you're in a brush, you will get the 8 shots faster because every basic attack will count as 2 stacks, and you can like get a couple of headshots in a fight if you're in a brush. Her Q, she literally shoots like a, I'm not even sure what to call that, but she shoots like kind of like a crossbow thingy, and it's an AoE, go through champions, go through minions, everything it hits, it deals damage. Her W is traps, so if someone walks into a trap, let's say you trap someone, your next basic attack on that trapped enemy will be a headshot. So again, a very strong tool to like kind of zone champions. So let's say you kind of throw them and people just randomly walk into them, or you can throw them into brushes, people can walk into them, you will deal extra damage. Very, very strong. Her E is a great escape tool. So you E and you kind of like fling yourself backwards. So let's say you're getting chased, you E and now you're safe. Deals damage as well as slowing the enemy champion, but it's pretty much used for a damage or a combo tool. So very kind of good to have that as an escape tool if you are in a kind of bad position. Her R, literally very long range. You are with your sniper, you aim for the champion. After a couple of seconds, you will shoot like a damage dealing bullet. It can be blocked. So let's say you are someone and someone who steps in front of it. The guy who steps in front of it will take the damage. But yeah, Caitlyn is mostly used to kind of, how can I say, you are using her to get more like, this is like a bully AD carry because of the range. So if you are kind of confident in your positioning, Caitlyn could be a very good champion for you to pick up. The third champion is Tristana. Again, people would maybe argue that Miss Fortune is easier. I want to say Tristana just because of like her base passive. If you kill a minion, it explodes and deal more damage to the enemy minions. So it's very easy to kind of farm with. Again, her Q gives her bonus attack speed. Very strong for AD carry. You get more attack speed. You will throw more basic attacks. Her W is a jump. So you can jump in. You can even jump out. Doesn't really matter. But let's say you jump in, you kill someone. Your jump will reset. So you can like jump on someone, kill that. Jump on the other one, kill that. Jump on the other one, and kill that. Her E, you throw like a bomb on a champion. And the more basic attacks, I think it's 5. The more kind of basic attacks you throw or attack the bomb with, it will explode and deal damage. So the more basic attacks, the more damage it deals. If it's at max stacks, it will automatically explode on your next basic attack, as well as resetting your W as well. So let's say you W in, you E someone, you Q to get the extra attack speed to kind of hit the bomb faster. You hit the bomb, boop, 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 it blows up, and then you use WN again on the champion, and he dies, and then you can jump out. So like you have a lot of kind of combos with the champion. So her R is, well, you kind of shoot like a bullet that knocks champions away. So let's say you're getting ganked, someone jumps on you like a Xin Zhao or a Master Yi, then you just R him, because it's not a skill shot. You just press R and then on the champion, and she will kind of shoot the champion away from her to make her safe. So it's kind of a good champion to play, in my opinion. Very fast at taking turrets, because you can always E a turret to kind of take it down faster as well. So I would definitely recommend these 3 champions. Miss Fortune could maybe be, instead of Ashe, but it really depends. I feel like Ashe is easier because of the slows and stuff, but Miss Fortune is also great. So let's go forward and talk about support, the second hand. So like I said, bot lane is support and the AD carry. The support is usually there to make her AD carry safe, so she doesn't die or she is not in a threatening positioning. So support can play variation of champions. You can play enchanters, you can play tanks, you can play mages here. But I'm gonna talk about the enchanters and tanks here. Mages is a little bit further down the line. So if you want to play support, this is for someone who doesn't like to focus on farming. Like I said, every lane has like minions, jungle has monsters. Supports, you don't have to focus on that. You just kind of linger around. You don't really do a lot in the laning phase except like protecting your AD carry, like I said, granting them vision from the jungler. You kind of try to make them as safe as possible so they can farm. You're also fighting a lot in the bot lane though, but you're fighting without thinking about last hitting as well. So you have a more room of like kind of picking your targets without having to like, oh shit, I missed a minion for that or something like that. So perfect if you don't like to focus on farming. You like to work as a team. Again, you are permanently sitting there with your AD carry most of the time. Even in the late game, you are always gonna be with someone. You can't really walk alone. Or like if you walk alone, you're pretty much like a sitting duck. People are just gonna kill you. So you usually want to be with someone all the time. Usually it's your AD carry, because AD carries are, again, the champion that are very easy to kill. So you want to be next to him to try to protect him as well as possible. And you work as a team. Like you go in, you go out together. Like you can't go in on an AD carry and support while your AD carry is at base. You kind of need him with you to fight. So this is again, if you like to work as a team, might be the perfect role for you. Someone who takes control of the vision to make your team safe. So a support's role usually, you have to, again, just because you're not farming, you have the room to like explore the map or like go and take vision of the map. So you might go and ward the Drake. You might go and give a vision to your mid laner so he doesn't feel like unsafe about getting ganked or whatever. So you go around and usually like set up vision as well as possible to give as much information to your team as possible so they can feel safe. They can just do their job without thinking, oh, well, where's this guy? Where's that guy? They're just granting vision, making sure no one is dying to like random stuff happening or like someone is coming out of a dark area. So yeah, but let's say you want to play support. What are the cons? Well, the cons are you will be blamed a lot because literally support players, let's say, we don't ward for Drake and Drake gets lost. Support, why are you not warding? They're gonna flame you. So usually everyone has wards. Like everyone starts with a yellow trinket that is a ward, but support has an item that grants them more wards. So that's why usually they are the ones warding. But let's say you don't have any wards, you don't get to ward the Drake, you're still the one to blame because that's your job. People really don't understand like that they can do that themselves. But you're gonna be blamed and flamed a lot. You're usually the sacrificial lamb. So let's say you're getting ganked from the enemy jungler. So the jungler comes down, it's a 3 versus 2. Let's say you play something like a tank, you jump in, die for it so your AD carry can get out safe. But the more you do that, let's say you die 5 or 6 times a game, well, you're gonna get kind of flamed because you died a lot and people are gonna be like, oh, support is just inting. Meanwhile, you might have not inted, you might have just saved your AD carry a couple of times, or they might have just left you on a fight because they tried to save themselves. So you're gonna be the sacrificial lamb a lot. If that's something you don't feel like too kind of comfortable with, well, support might not be the role for you. And it's kind of hard to solo carry with. So as we said, you're usually with someone, and if that someone is bad, well, then it's kind of hard for you to do something by yourself. If you're not playing like a mage champion, if you're playing like a tank or enchanter usually try to enchant an ally to make him stronger. But if your allies are kind of weak, then you're gonna have an issue because you're not gonna be having anyone to climb or to carry with. Anyways, so if you're looking forward to playing this role, here is a couple of champions. So Karma is a champion. Her Q is literally like a spell you throw, good for poking. Her W is kind of like a snare that roots. So let's say you W someone. If they don't run out of range, the champion is going to get rooted. So it's kind of strong to, if someone engages on you, she gives W, and yeah, she's W's and he gets roots, then you can just run away pretty much. And her E is a shield, so you can shield yourself, you can shield your ally, you can shield your jungler, doesn't really matter. Very, again, kind of an enchanting champion because shields are good always for your team. Her R, like her ultimate, will enchant one of her spells she already has. So let's say you R and then you E. So if you RE, for example, everyone around you will get a shield. So you don't have to like, because E is just one targeted champion that you can shield. But if you RE, everyone around you will get shielded. If you are W, for example, if you have the root as your ultimate, then you will root a champion still, but you will also heal a little bit of HP back for yourself. So let's say you get chased, you're very low HP, you RW someone, you get some HP back, and you get rooted, and you can just E yourself and run away. So the shield also grants movement speed, by the way, I forgot to say that, but it also grants you movement speed, so it's perfect for like escaping or engaging. If you RQ, then your Q will explode when it lands and deal more damage, and also I think it slows as well. Yeah, it slows as well. So again, this is good. Her normal Q also slows, but like, yeah, I just forgot to put that in there. Again, you don't have to like, you can R and then choose a spell. You don't have to like choose R on one spell. You can always change the spells you want to kind of buff up. So it's like a, how can I say, it's like a buffing spell to buff your other spells, if that makes sense. But you can only use one of them each R. So let's say you R and you Q, then your R goes on cooldown. You have to wait for it to come back up before you can kind of use it again. That's Karma. Again, enchanting champion, kind of strong. I really like her. She's pretty strong right now as well. A lot of champions or a lot of pros play her, a lot of support mains play her, so definitely try Karma. The second champion is Nautilus. Well, Nautilus is a tank that literally likes to engage. So Nautilus passive is every basic attack you land on a champion will kind of snare or root them for a couple of seconds, like 1 second I think, but it has a cooldown per champ. So you can't like basic attack and then root and basic attack again and expect a root. No, it has like a cooldown, but it's kind of strong anyways, because who doesn't want to root on his basic? His Q, he throws out his like his how can I say, his axe or whatever, like a hook, and if you land it, then you will kind of drag yourself into that champion. Let's say you Q someone and you basic attack, and now he's rooted perfect on a like from very far range. His W grants him a shield, and it buffs up his auto attacks to deal damage, AoE, as well as giving it more magic damage. His E, he kind of shoots like rock water pulses, I would say, that expands, like it's kind of like pulsating, and everything it hits slows and deals magic damage. His R is a point click. You kind of throw kind of like a underwater monster, I'm not sure, okay, but underwater like water that chases the champion you click. So let's say you are someone and he flashes away, it's just gonna chase him till it actually lands, or if the guy has Zonias. We can talk about Zonias on another video, but Zonias is like a item that makes you crystallize, that you can target. It makes you untargetable, so your R will kind of disappear. But let's say you R and he jumps into his team, then everyone around him will get knocked up. So it's a knock up when it lands on the enemy team or enemy champion. Again, if more people are around them, he will deal damage to all of them and knock everyone up. So a very strong tool to like engage with. Perfect champion if you need a tank as a support. Definitely try Nautilus. He's not that hard to play. The third champion I want to talk to you about is Janna. Sorry, I mean Soraka. No, not Janna, Soraka. So Soraka is pretty much the most basic jungle support you can play. Soraka is a heal or kind of an enchanter as well. But whenever someone is low HP, this is a passive. Whenever someone is low HP, she gets extra movement speed when running towards a champion. Just to, again, because she's a healer, so she can go faster, like she has to run fast to heal them, I guess. Her Q, she kind of calls down a star, and if you land it on someone, you will heal yourself and you will deal magic damage to the enemy champion, and you get granted bonus movement speed. Kind of nice. You can like Q someone as poke and then run away, as well as healing yourself. Her W, well, you point click on someone to heal, so you W someone, you heal them up, perfect, but it costs HP from yourself. So this is why you W, let's say you heal someone, you have to land your Q to get HP back, kind of, you know, counterplays the whole W. So you W, you lose HP, you Q, you get your HP back. So you have to kind of play a little bit aggro, but at the same time, your job is just to like heal your AD carry in the bottom lane, or late game, just heal the champions that are low. Her E, She throws down like a zone, and if someone stands in a zone for like 1.5 seconds, they will get rooted. It also deals magic damage, as well as silencing anyone who's on the, or she hits with the platform. So let's say someone is like about to like run towards you, you just press that silence and he can't do anything, you know. Perfect champion to kind of again defend your AD carry with. She can heal, she can silence, she can run away. That is all you want. Her ultimate is she heals everyone that is alive on the map, doesn't matter where they are. She can be in base and press R and you will heal everyone for like depending on how much AP you have, you will heal everyone, as well as like you heal them, and it doesn't like grievous wound is a item in the game that neglects HP. Like you can't get back as much HP if you have this item, but Soraka with her R, it doesn't matter what you have, she will still heal you for the amount she says she will heal for. So that is again kind of a easy champion to play. You really don't have to do a lot. You just kind of heal and silence people and then land your Q occasionally to get your HP back for more healing. And yeah, that is the support role. I hope, again, this was a little bit insight of every lane and a couple of champions you should pick up if you haven't. And yeah, let's just move on to the next segment here. There we go. Micro, what is it? So what is micro? Well, micro is something people usually kind of get confused with. That is like, what is micro? How do I improve it? So micro is the first, let me talk about this first. So how well you CS. So that is in part, like that's a part of micro. So micro is pretty much everything in the game that you can control in a way and improve. So how well you CS. So CSing means how good you can kill the minions, like time them, and again set them up. So you get 6 minions a wave until the every third wave is a cannon wave. A cannon wave has a cannon minion that is the 7th, and that's pretty much the best minion to kill because it gives you the most gold and XP. But you want to time them. Like you can't, if you miss a lot of CS, you will miss a lot of gold, since every CS gives you gold and XP. Yes, if you don't last hit it, so last hitting means you kill it before it dies, like you hit it before it dies to get the gold. Even though you don't last hit, you will still get the XP, but you won't get the gold. So you want to farm as well as possible. And let's say you don't farm well, what can you do? Well, the best tip I would give you is go to practice tool. That's free in League of Legends. You just press play, customs, and then you choose what's it called? You just go to practice mode, yeah, practice tool or whatever. You choose a champion you want to play. Let's say you choose Caitlyn, and then you just go and basic attack the minions. So let's say you do this for a couple of times a day. You play the wave like you usually do. You try to last it as much as possible. Then you do that for 5 to 6 waves, and then you reset and do the same. Why do you reset? Well, people usually say, I can farm well, but I can farm well late, but not early. It's because early game we have the lowest damage possible because we don't have items, and for each level we get some attack damage on our champion. So you want to reset to get back to level 1, and do the same thing over and over again till that gets comfortable. Again, when you get higher level, you're gonna do more damage, so it's easier to last hit. You want to have as little damage as possible, so you can work on your timing on the last hitting the minions, instead of having like a high level champion and like farming. People be like, I played 25 minutes of practice mode and you CS, I had 400 CS in 20 minutes. Yes, because you were level 18, you had no pressure. So let's say that gets comfortable. Now you can play against a bot or whatever, so it can put some pressure on you while you CS. And as well as you do that, you can work on your kind of trading and ability to move your character. So ability to move your character, again, this is like a kind of like a micro. Everything goes into the micro here. So ability to move your character is like, how well do you kite? How well do you move out of spells? How well do you like react to stuff happening on the map? Like if someone throws a spell to you, you have to kind of dodge it, right? You have to go sidestep it. If you're standing still, then your movement is not good, and the character you're playing will, like, it doesn't matter what character you're playing, if you can't move properly, you will always be bad at movement. So again, practice your movement with again, playing against bots. You can play against like playing against anything that makes you comfortable. But I would recommend you guys to play ARAMs a lot. Like if you don't play ARAM, definitely start playing it, because ARAM is pretty much made for like perma team fights. Perma team fights, and just again working on your movement, working on positioning. I would definitely recommend you to play more ARAM if you feel like my positioning or team fighting is bad, because that is like one lane. That is like a fun mode League of Legends, but I don't see that as a fun mode. I see that as a practice mode. So you just play some ARAM games, work on your team fight, work on your positioning, work on your movement, play cocky. Like when I play ARAMs, I play very, very far forward, because I want to practice dodging and reacting to stuff. Again, you might get hit with some stuff, you might die, it's fine, it's ARAM, it doesn't really count for anything. That's where you have fun, that's where you practice. Again, I don't really have fun, I try hard in ARAMs as well, but that's because I'm looking to improve. Sorry. So your ability to read trades, this is again, you need to know when you should trade and when you should not. Like you should see an opening for a trade, you should know like, okay, this guy used to use spells on a minion, I have my spells up, why don't I go a trade? Like you have to read these things on the enemy champion or enemy player you're facing. Doesn't matter which lane you're playing. If you're playing mid lane and your enemy mid lane is playing using a spell on a minion, why don't you go and trade? Same thing with top, same thing with AD carry. Like if someone is using a spell or kind of going too far forward, you have to read that and take the trades. So again, we have to kind of get that into our system of just reading and kind of understanding what the enemy player is doing, and don't fear. Be like, people I usually see they get scared a lot when something is happening, and they be like, oh no, like, oh, he's moving forward, why? And they start moving backwards, knowing like he doesn't have any spells up, so why are we running backwards? We should just fight this guy, no? We have to have the ability to read trades. Again, this comes with the more games you play, but definitely try to have that as a focus, to always read and understand what to do and when to do what. Landing skill shots. So if you're bad at landing skill shots, again, this comes with practice, but you also have to read enemy movement. So let's say someone is juking, he's like running sideways. We have to kind of understand that. If someone is only running up and down, then it's gonna be easy to land our skill shots, because we can just throw it straight at him, because it only runs straight back or straight forward. But if let's say he moves straight back, straight forward, side to side, back, side to side, like awkward movement, it's gonna be hard to land the skill shots. But again, we're not gonna talk about high rank, so people usually don't move very well in lower elos. So work on landing skill shots. If you can't, again, practice. Just play more games and it will probably get better and better. Yeah. So again, how fast you react is, let's say someone comes out of the brush, how fast can you react and flash? Or how fast can you react and, let's say you play Annie, how fast can you react and stun the enemy champion that is coming to you? You know, you have to be having fast reactions. Reactions are very hard to improve, because it's just our human, like it's kind of hard to improve our reactions, you know. But the best way is just scouting the map and looking at the map all the time, being ready for stuff to happen. Don't be too like relaxed when you play. Just try to always focus and be ready for whatever, and always have that in the back of the head, like, okay, the jungler might be in this brush here, I can't see him, but he might be here. Like, you always have to fear him. That is one way to at least be ready for whatever happens on the map. So yeah, again, let's go to the macro. This is, again, how do I improve the macro? Macro is one of the hardest things to improve. I do coaching, so if you guys are interested in coaching, join my Discord, by the way. But anyways, how do I improve macro? I get this a lot when I watch people. They play the game, they have no clue what to do, when to do. They just kind of running around in circles, don't know what to do. This takes practice, and the more games you play, the more you will understand it. But the best way to improve your macro is so people usually use a summoner spell called TP, so teleport. You can play it and then teleport to a minion to join a fight, for example. People have TP but I don't know when to split. Like, when do I leave my team and go to a side lane and take minions? So let's say your whole team is top, you might go bot to take minions there alone, because you can always TP to top and join the fight, for example. People be like, well, I am scared to do it because if I go bot, my team might just die. Well, you don't really know that until you try. You have to, this is why it says experience. Like, you have to go bot, you have to do it and see what the outcome is. If you don't see it, then you won't know what would have happened. You can't say, well, I know my team would have died if I went there. You don't know that until you try. They might have not died. You might have just pushed the whole way bot to enemy nexus turret and win. Like, we don't know until we try it. So you have to try it. You have to make mistakes. But the more mistakes you do, the more you will learn. Like, you will see what is good, what is bad. In this scenario, if I did this, how would it work out? Like, if you don't try it, you won't know it. So again, reading the map and making fast deciding choices, you have to be fast. You can't like do something and be like having second thoughts. You have to be safe or like secure on a play and be like, okay, we go this, we take Nash, we go push mid turret. Like, if you don't have that split second reaction, it's costly. Like, if you lose 10 or 15 seconds, that could have cost you a lot on the map. So you have to be fast on making choices. But again, this will come the more you play, if you can see it on the map. Like, if you don't read the map, if you don't read what's going on, again, it could be hard to make these fast game deciding choices. But yeah, just again, keep on playing, keep on grinding, and I promise you will see improvements in your macro game. Macro game is the hardest to learn, but watch a lot of pros, in my opinion, to see why they do some stuff, to kind of learn it, or try to understand why they're doing what they're doing. And if you can understand that, well, then maybe you can implement it in your own game. So swapping lanes is like one common thing. Like, that's also macro. Like, swapping lanes, you have to understand when you are gonna swap lanes or why you are swapping lanes. If you don't understand, if you're just doing it to do it because bot lane thinks, oh, I seen this in a pro champ or pro player's replay, he swapped lanes after taking bot turret, but he doesn't really know why. You have to know why. This is also like invades and stuff. Like, let's say you want to take enemy blue. When do we take the enemy blue? Let's say we see the jungler bot side, then maybe we don't invade this because he is there. Maybe we want to be sure he's top side, or maybe he's ganking top so we can invade bot. You know what I mean? Like, so many junglers just invade without having the correct information. Then they die and be like, okay, that's my bad. No, it's not your bad. It's not your bad that you did. It's a good thing you invaded, but you're bad because you don't know how the game works. Like, your macro is bad. And then we have denying vision. So this is, again, good macro. Macro is just playing around the map. So denying vision is also good. Let's say you're setting up for Nash. You might want to clear the wards around the Nash so they don't know where you guys are or if you're taking it. So they have to kind of face check. Would you guys go into a dark dungeon without having any kind of light? No. Would you like to have light in there first before you go? Yes. That's why denying vision is key. That denying vision, literally, like, wards is the #1 thing to win games. Like, if you don't have wards, let's say you go into a darkness and people are there, you die, you could have lost the game there. Like, pretty much, if you, depending on what minute it is in the game, if it's a very late game and someone dies, you're not going to respawn for like 40 or 60 seconds. That is 60 seconds. Enemy team is 4 versus 5. Like, you can literally win the game. So yeah, like, macro, you have to play. You have to watch pros. Again, if you're serious about climbing. And I think that was the last bit. Yeah, that was the last thing I had to say. But listen, guys, I hope this was enjoyable. Very long video, I know. We went through a lot in this segment, but I hope I didn't offend anyone. I hope I didn't flame someone. Again, if you're a Jasso main in silver and you like it, don't feel offended. I'm not saying anything bad. If you guys like to play these hard mechanical champs, but you can't climb, then I don't think you have the rights to complain about climbing because there's a reason why hard mechanical champs are hard to pull off, because one mistake can cost you pretty much the whole lane or the game. So I hope this was enjoyable. Again, I kind of messed up a little bit, I know it, but it's a very long video to record and I didn't want to redo. I have tried to record this for like 3 times, and I messed up so much on the Drakes. I forgot to say the jungle as well. The jungle role, guys, is to gank lanes. I forgot to, I forgot to say that. I'm sorry. But yeah, if you guys like this video, I hope you guys did. We talked about some stuff. Again, we will do a lane management, and I will still continue to do those macro quiz videos I did, and I hope you guys liked the way we did it last time. I will keep doing those. But yeah, I hope this was enjoyable. If you guys feel like I missed something, or I kind of missed a champion you guys feel like are easy to play in some role, comment down below. And yeah, I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. If you guys want to catch me on my live stream, I will link it in the comments. If you guys want coaching, because I am coaching, join my Discord and we can talk about it there. But until next time, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.